Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Thank you all for joining me for News 5 Now at 8:05. I'm Shimani Baker. We are off to another frigid start to the day. It was in the 20s this morning, y'all. I think the high today is in the mid-40s. Crazy to believe that this is happening along the Gulf Coast, but you know how it is. Roller coaster ride. I guess this just is what it is for now. But if you're headed out to school or to work this morning, make sure you are bundled up. This is your warning. You need the scarf, you need the gloves, you need the trench coat, the hat, whatever you need to stay warm. Make sure you grab it before you head out the door because it is very, very cold. Now, we aren't dealing with any snowstorms like other parts of the world. Mississippi, Tennessee are dealing with some of that. I know Baldwin EMC is kind of heading up that way today because a lot of folks up that way have lost their power. So we're not dealing with any of that, but it is still very, very cold. So make sure you are prepared and do what you need to do to stay safe. We've got a number of stories to talk about today. So let's get started. News 5 Now starts right now.
Brought to you by Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers, covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. News 5 Now starts right now.
Well, you know the drill. We always start out the morning with our big stories for the day. Number 5, the city of Bangor, Maine, says everyone aboard a small private jet died when it crashed during snowy weather at the international airport there over the weekend. 6 people were on the jet when it crashed. Number 4. St. Michael coach Philip Rivers has withdrawn his name from consideration for the Buffalo Bills' vacant head coach position. Rivers interviewed for that job on Friday. Number 3. Pensacola's deputy police chief has announced that he is retiring. Kevin Chrisman is leaving the department after spending 28 years in law enforcement. Number 2. Progress is being made on the new pedestrian bridge along the Intracoastal Waterway. Gulf Shore city leaders say work is almost halfway complete. Traffic along East 2nd Street between 23rd and 24th Avenues remains restricted to traffic. And number 1 this morning, the Mobile County Commission has approved an agreement for $2 million in Go Mesa funds for improvements at the River Delta Marina and Campground. The funding will pay for design and construction re-enhancements of the marina and campground. That is awesome news. Congratulations to them. I cannot wait to see what it looks like when everything is complete. Let's move things over to our question of the day. Now, we talked about this on News 5 this morning. Climber Alex Honnold climbed a skyscraper with no gear, y'all. And not just any skyscraper. It is the tallest building in Taiwan. He climbed it yesterday. No gear, no harness, no nothing. Just chalk that he had in his pocket. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done? I've done nothing even close to what Alex pulled off yesterday, so I can't even compare here, but I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Lori says, I use my mother's fabric scissors to cut paper. Ooh, Lori, I know folks are against whoopings these days, but I know you got a spanking, girl. Using your mom's fabric scissors to cut paper. Uh-oh. Andrew says, gotten married twice. You guys are hilarious, please. James says, I ate a meal in an airport without washing my hands once. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge. I want to say something. I'm not going to say it. Mike says, talked back to my mother. I can second this one. Now, that's some scary mess right there. That is dangerous. You don't want to do that, especially not a Southern mother. Eric says, told my wife to be quiet. Eric, you are walking a thin line right there. Russell says, I raised 2 daughters through their teens as a single dad. Scariest thing ever. Well, Russell, you made it through. You made it through. Congratulations. Larry says, went on a blind date. Don says, played tag in an open elevator shaft, 20 stories up in a new construction building, Atlanta, 1985. I was much younger and dumber then. Ooh, that is very dangerous there. Joe says worked as a police officer for 26 years. Let's see. Jeff says, you know that little tag on the mattress that says illegal to remove? I ripped that thing off. Joy says, became a teacher. Oh gosh, Mike, stop it. Angie says, use the step on the ladder that says this is not a step. Guys, I want to hear from you. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done? Honestly, I have heard nothing as close to what Alex pulled off yesterday, making sure that he climbed that tallest building in Taiwan with no gear, no protective gear at all. No, that was insane. These are good ones, but not nearly as scary and dangerous as what he did yesterday. Let's move things over to our poll. Today it is, have you ever or have you been affected by the cold weather rather? 13 people say yes, and 22 people say no, they have not been affected. Lynn says, I didn't wear sandals today. Good for you, Lynn. You'd be sick today. Let's see. I shivered a lot. I loved it. People are saying no, no, no. Aaron says, I bought plenty of food a couple of days in advance and stay inside where it's warm, so no problems for me. Chris says, the only thing that bothers me is my skin gets dry. Chris, you and me both. I feel like I gotta load up on chapstick, lotion, Vaseline, all the above, just to make sure that my skin doesn't crack. And I was talking to the girls this morning, Caroline and Simone. My lips get so chapped, y'all. And I think it's because I have to wear lipstick and everything else on air. But when it is cold, ooh, it gets crusty. So you got to make sure you have that chapstick with you. Whatever you use, stay moisturized. You need it right now, especially because it is so windy, dry outside. Somebody says, Chris says, any tips or recommendations on what I can use to remedy that? Honestly, I use Jergens lotion. Anybody else have some suggestions? Drop them in the chat. Maybe Chris will see them. Anyway, whatever you think, whatever you believe, whatever you want to say, make sure you head over to our Facebook page and chime in on those questions and polls of the day. There's no right or wrong answer. We just want to hear what you have to say. I will share some of your responses, if they're not too crazy, right here on News 5 Now. Thank y'all again for joining me this morning for 8:05. Don't forget, we have News 5 Now at 12:35 and 5:35. I know a lot of folks are on the run, trying to get to work and drop the kids off for school. And so if this is your way to get your news, all you have to do is log on to Facebook on your phone. Easy peasy. Or you can download our WKRG app. It is free. It's in the Google App Store. It's in the Apple Play Store. So make sure you head over that and download those as well. Thank y'all again. Have a great Tuesday. Stay bundled up, stay warm, and stay safe. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.
Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. You are watching News 5 Now, brought to you by Green & Phillips Injury Lawyers.
In the courtroom, the judge knows best, and this judge does too. If you've been hurt in a wreck, you need a law firm that knows the system and how it works. I'm attorney David Green. Call or come by anytime. You never need an appointment.